In this project, we're going to assemble a 3D printed trebuchet. So what is a trebuchet? Well, it's sort of like a catapult. It just works a little bit differently. A catapult has an arm that pivots at the base and gets pulled forward through some kind of tension. It could be something that is pulling the arm like that. It could be a spring at the base that flings the arm forward. Well, a trebuchet actually kind of works opposite. It pivots more in the center of the arm, and instead of something pulling it forward, it actually has something that pulls the bottom of it back. And so this allows it to go much faster than a catapult, which allows it to launch much further. So trebuchets, catapults, very similar, but we're going to make a trebuchet, and we're going to make it with these parts. This is our base. We're going to use this to hold the structure in place. This is the arm. This is the thing that will actually fling. We have a paper clip and we have a small rubber band, and then when it's all assembled we have some pom-poms that we can fling. This thing will fling things very hard, so if you are indoors and around other people, don't fling hard things, and certainly don't fling hard things towards other people. So how does this work? This base has been 3D printed in such a way that it is actually bendable. So what we're going to do is take these arms and we're going to gently bend them up. If we bend them too far, then what's going to happen is this little hingy area is going to break. So we don't want to squeeze it too much. We just want to bend it up to 90 degrees. And if we want to make sure that this thing stays nice and strong for the future, we can add just a little bit of glue in here. And this isn't necessary, but it might help. Add just a little bit of glue into those channels there, and when we close that up, the glue will set and hold it in place. So we want these arms to be pretty much straight up. Now these arms have little holes in the top of them, and the arm of our trebuchet has a hole in the middle of it, and so those holes are going to line up. What we want to make sure that we're getting is this long set of beams is the back of the trebuchet. We want to fling the trebuchet that way. So we have a little cup here. You can see my pom-pom sits in that cup. And so if I have the arm like this, I want the cup to be facing up above the back end of the trebuchet. And so as it flings, it'll fling forward like that. But I need some kind of pivot for that to work, and so that is what our paper clip is for. So we're going to take the paper clip and take one end of it, this bigger end, and we're just going to open it up and try to get it pretty straight. It doesn't have to be perfect, but pretty straight. And then we're going to bend the other end so that it's kind of an L. So I have my paper clip bent into an L, and now I'm going to put it through the first arm of the trebuchet. Then, remembering that I want the little cup on my arm to be facing up as it's over the back of the trebuchet, I'm going to put the arm in there, and then I'm going to put the paper clip through the hole on the other side. And you can see that allows the arm to go up and down. Now I'm going to bend my paper clip back down, and that will hold everything in place. So now I have the base, it's folded up. I dabbed a little glue in there to help make it strong. I put my paper clip through, and you can see that I can make the trebuchet go like this. Now essentially what I'm doing is how trebuchets work. A lot of times they would have a heavy weight on this end here, and when the weight was allowed to drop, it would pull that down and it would fling the arm up, and whoo, off whatever it was you were flinging went. But we want to make that just a little bit easier for our purposes, so we're going to use this rubber band. What I'm going to do is take my rubber band and I'm going to just stick it through this little opening here at the bottom of the arm of my trebuchet so that I have a little bit of the rubber band on both sides. Now I'm going to take one loop and I'm going to pull it through the other loop on the other side. It doesn't matter which loop you do, either one will work, but I want to put one loop through the other side and then pull it tight. And you can see what that's done is it has wrapped itself around the bottom of the arm, and it's made a nice secure attachment there to the bottom of the arm of the trebuchet. Now I'm going to pull the end of the rubber band that I have out through to the other side, to the back, and you can see I have these two little arms. I'm going to loop the rubber band around those two arms. And that is what it's going to pull against. So when my trebuchet is at rest, it's going to look like this. It's going to be up. When I want to fling it, I'm just going to pull it down and then let go. So how does that work? Well, let's launch something. I'm going to hold my trebuchet flat so that it doesn't flip up. If I just try to do this, it might flip on me just like that. So I'm going to just secure it with one finger. I'm going to pull this back, and I can hold it in place with my thumb there, or I can hold it down. I'm going to put my pom-pom onto the trebuchet. Now the neat thing about a trebuchet is that depending on where you release, if I release it a little higher or if I go all the way, that's going to change the arc of my projectile. So you can actually target a little bit because a lower arc might go a little further, a really low arc might not go as far. So you can kind of play around with that as you're playing with this to try to hit different targets. But once you're ready to go, you just release. And off it goes.